This video testing the Flex-A-Lite Flex Wave, CFM, amp draw, noise, all the things. Let's do this. Welcome back to FastMonty's Garage. Like I said, we're testing the Flex-A-Lite Flex Wave 14-inch brushed fan today, and this supposedly puts out 1900 CFM. And that's the reason I came up with all these fan test videos, because some of those specs from different manufacturers can be misleading because all manufacturers test differently. I test the same way every time, and I populate the list on my website. So if you go to fastmontysgarage.com, there's a link there that says fan tests. You can see all the fans I've tested, their price points, loaded and unloaded. What that means is unloaded, free flowing. That's how all manufacturers test their fans. I also test it loaded, which means I'm going to put it on a radiator, test the CFM again, test the amp draw, test the startup amps, test the noise. We're going to do all those things today. On that same website, you'll also notice, sorry, I can't even talk, I do custom shrouds, mainly for cold case radiators. And let me explain why. So if you're brand new, welcome. I restored the 69 GTO you see behind me, and in doing so, I went nuts with the motor. It was originally a 400 block. It's now a 470, so it's bored and stroked. It's got aluminum heads, port and polished. I have Phytech port injection, fuel injection, and a roller cam. It's putting out close to double the power output that the stock engine makes. And whenever you increase power in any engine, I don't care who makes it, you are now creating more heat. If you're creating more heat and you have a stock radiator, you're probably gonna have a problem, especially just driving around town and you don't have enough airflow. That's why electric fans have become the new thing for most resto mods that are putting out more power, because you're sitting at idle, your fans will kick on like a modern car. Now, that's how I got into this mess, because I didn't have a good enough radiator at the time, and I found cold case radiators. It's just so happens they have 1.25-inch wide tubes inside the radiator. So the wider those tubes, the more extraction of heat you can do from the airflow going by, and obviously coolant running through the tubes. Now, next level was I wanted to find the biggest fans I can put on that radiator. So that shroud I just showed you, I now have 25 different designs for cold case radiators. So go hit up my website. You can actually go filter down the list and find your cold case part number. If it's not there, just shoot me an email, fastmontysgarage@gmail.com, and I'll get you squared away. So today we're going to test on my workbench, on my bench test I call it. I can show you what I used, and you can mimic the same test at home if you want to get a sanity check of your own fans. But if you have a fan that works, leave a comment below, or a fan you want me to test. That's why we're here. One of you guys, or two of you guys, recommended I try testing this fan just for sanity's sake. And I said, sure, why not? Let's do it. So that's why we're here. Now, if you want to support the channel, subscribe. Got more projects to come. Subscribing is free if you didn't know. But if you do want to financially support the channel, full Monty Club's right there. Hats, shirts, all those links are below. And I appreciate your consideration. So let's get into it. Show you this bench test. First things first, let's measure the fan blade, because this is how I measure fan blade diameter, and this is 13 7/8. So 14 is about the right number. So that's actually the same diameter I use for the hole in my shrouds, is 13 7/8. So I agree with that. Now, I say that because some manufacturers will say this is a 14-inch fan, but they're actually measuring the outside of the shroud around the plastic housing. They're not measuring the fan blade. So that's just something I'm kind of critical about. So that's good. It's a 14 in my opinion. Let's flip it over and mount it. Okay, from left to right, I have my notepad of all the fan testing I've been doing. My anemometer, and I did a prior video where I tested like 4 or 5 anemometers, and I figured out they're all pretty much the same. So I use the same anemometer in every video that measures velocity. And my particular one, you can actually put the square footage of the area you're measuring. So this is 0.785. That equals 12-inch diameter. That'll make sense in a second. Now, I have a power supply. This is 50 amp power supply. I have it set for 13.8 volts because our alternators, when working correctly, are around 14 volts. typically 14.2. So 13.8 is a standard just way to move forward, because that's the standard setting on this power supply as well. And some manufacturers test anywhere from 12 volts to 13.5, 13.8. I've seen some up to 16 volts, which doesn't make sense, but hey, whatever. Now, I also have an amp clamp, and I have an amp meter on the power supply itself. I have a decibel meter that will be mounted on the cement floor directly underneath the fan when we mount it to the radiator. And I have two 10 gauge wires mounted to the power supply. I use the same wiring every time for every fan. So the only thing that changes in our test from video to video is the fan. And you'll notice the fan is taped down because I don't want any air leaks or any excuse for changing any parameters. So let's get into it. I have to educate you guys. You've never seen this before. You might have seen this online where people are measuring the velocity of the air right near the fan blades. That's not how you do it, boys and girls. The reason is there's a ton of turbulence that comes off the fan blade, and also a ton of turbulence that comes off these plastic fingers here and guarding. So the way I like to do it, and I know you guys have seen this before, but watch, is with a cone. This cone does a couple things. One, it condenses the air from 14 inches to 12 inches. So this top part is 12-inch diameter. Now you understand the anemometer setting. And it gets you away from the fan blade turbulence. Now ideally, you want to be 3x or 2.5x away from the fan blades to even out that distribution of turbulence. And you want to measure like way up here. I just don't have enough poster board to get there. So there it is. I measure every fan the same way. I just use the max setting on the anemometer. Otherwise, what you would do if you want to do this right, the correct way to do this, is using Bernoulli's equation, which requires temperature and pressure. Temperature starting and ending, and same with pressure starting and ending. And that's the true end, then measuring the velocity, and that's how you can truly measure your CFM, or cubic feet per minute. That's the correct way to do it. And then you average, you'd set this up into a quadrant. You'd measure each quadrant and add it all up. That's how you really are supposed to do it. Or get a very, very expensive tool called a bolometer. And I can't afford those. They're $2,500 a piece, and I'm not doing that. So there you go. This is my way. Do it the same every time. Again, we're setting baseline. So this is baseline with no restriction. We're going to test the startup amp. So we're going to do the amp draw when it's running, and we'll do the CFM. So let me tape this down and we'll get to it. Here we go. 785 in the anemometer. We're going to kick it on. I'm going to pay attention to the amps. I'm probably going to record it with a second camera, do this a few times just to get a good average. There we go. Bam! That thing spiked to like 50. .8 amps. That may come into play later at my 6.8 comment, but here's 1583. Remember, the manufacturer spec is 1900, not loaded. So that might be an issue. I'm going to test it a few more times just for sanity's sake. Write all those numbers down, probably take an average of the CFM, pay attention to the amp draw. Then next scene, radiator. So here's my cold case radiator. You can get one for yourself. Go hit up coldcaseradiators.com. Use my discount code FastMonty. Get you free shipping at least. But this is the point of the shroud. It fits this radiator perfectly. I test every fan with the same shroud. That keeps everything consistent. It's still free flowing air under here. And I have my decibel meter down there ready to go. Let's do this. So our initial benchmark, I'd measured it like 5 times. So average is 1575 CFM free flowing. So unloaded. 37 amp for startup amps. Here's a really quick video I did this 6 or 7 times on the amp clamp just to see what the average would be, and I wrote down all the numbers and averaged it. And then running is 7 amps. The reason that is, if you didn't know, there's a lot of inertia created because of the windings on a brush motor, whereas a brushless motor is quite the opposite because the windings are on the outside of the motor and the magnet's spinning, so the startup amp draw is really low. That's why brushless motors are now the trend, and it goes easier on your electrical system, but they also cost more. So let's get to this. Okay, fire in the hole. Okay, you remember I made a comment about the amp draw? 1189 CFM. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not good. I'm gonna measure it a bunch more times, recompile the data, including amp draw, running amps, and the noise, because I have the decibel meter down there, populate the spreadsheet, and get right back to you guys and wrap this video up. Okay, boys and girls, I got everything updated and it's online right now. Here's what the chart looks like online. I have the printed version, and I have to eat my words because it actually wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought, and I'm a little shocked. So the Flex-A-Lite 14 is ranked 5th on the list, right ahead of the Spall 14 that I use in the GTO. So all I can attest to that is I'm considering this fan to be a paddle style blade, and paddle blades do pull more CFM under load. The Spall fan is a S-curve blade, and I'm really now curious if Spall makes the same fan with a paddle. I'm gonna have to test that. So if you guys know if they make the same motor with a paddle, let me know. Give me a part number. You might beat me to it. And I'm going to test that because now I'm really curious because there's some different things going on here. Paddle versus S-curves, etc. So, hey, learned a lot. And that just proved that Flex-A-Lite, while their CFM measuring is probably not ideal, it does do well under my loaded test. So if you have a Flex-A-Lite fan, don't freak out. You're in good company. And I'm also impressed with the amp draw because my #1 thing when I look at fans is the amp draw when loaded. If it's a tiny number like this one, it was like 8 or something like that, I usually just dismiss the fan. But now I can't do that, now can I? Now we have to consider the fan blade, etc. So the noise, by the way, is 86.6 decibels. I don't have full noise testing on all the fans, because I might have been doing it wrong on a couple of them. But anyway, I hope you guys learned a lot. Again, leave comments if you want me to test other types of fans, and go get yourself a cold case radiator, a shroud on my website, get that engine cool, and have some fun. So until next time, building fast, driving faster. See ya.